So aside from the announcement of Darksiders 3, there's also been another trailer released recently, and that is for whatever Code Vein is going to turn out to be. Now, when I first saw their little teaser trailer for it, which I'll put both trailers in the description so that you guys can see what I'm talking about if you don't know. When I first saw their teaser trailer, I was like, I'm going to wait to see a little bit of gameplay. Because again, it's 2017. I can get hyped about Darksiders 3 just showing the CG trailer, but like when it comes down to games I don't know about, like I know how Darksiders 3 is going to play. I know what it's going to look like. I have an idea. But Code Vein, I had no clue. I didn't know what it was. But seeing the second trailer and seeing the gameplay style, I'm like, okay, now I'm interested. Code Vein, for those of you who don't know, is a new game that's being developed by Bandai Namco. I think Bandai Namco. Namco Bandai? Do I ever say those right? I don't know. Basically coming from the creators of Souls. And it is, what you would think, a Souls-like hack-and-slash third-person game. And this time it revolves around something other than hollows and bonfires. I love the Souls series, so what I'm about to say may sound very hateful. Please understand if you're a Souls fanboy, I'm just as much of a Souls fanboy. The problem I had with Dark Souls is that its concepts were very contrived. It always revolved around hollows and linking the fire and the Dark Age and, you know, all that shit. With Code Vein, it seems like it's going to be the Animu successor to Bloodborne, because it revolves around bloodlust. It exists in an apocalyptic world. Humanity has been wiped out and monsters roam. That's about the extent of what I know. But seeing the trailer and seeing the gameplay, I understand there's room for improvement. I could be a negative prick and be like, oh, the gameplay looks kind of slow and uninteresting. It's in development. It's going to get better. It's going to get faster, too, I'm sure. But seeing it, it looks really damn interesting. I've always enjoyed the hack-and-slash stylings of the Souls series. And I think that even though now Dark Souls has come to an end, hopefully if they choose not to milk it, I don't think that this Souls-like style of gameplay should go away anytime soon. A lot of people didn't like Lords of the Fallen. It had its fair share of problems, but I think that allowing for developers to improve upon that, like with The Surge, is a good thing. Having different types of games that have different types of universes, characters, worlds, I think that's a good thing because you can have very diversified gameplay stylings with the same kind of Souls-like combat. You have Lords of the Fallen, which is very high fantasy. You've got this big bulky tank of a man in heavy armor fighting against monsters in snowy lands. That's a good thing. You have the Surge, where this dude is running around with sci-fi weapons fighting robots and the remnants of man in this post-apocalyptic area, trying to figure out what happened and piece together everything on a really bad day of work. And now you're going to have Code Vein, which is, again, the same type of combat, but with different concepts, worlds, characters, monsters, and environments. I love that shit. Understand that anything I say in this video right now is just speculation. It's just me being a fan and trying to figure out what they may be doing here. But with Code Vein, the trailer at least showed off 2 characters. Now, if this is coming from the developers of Souls, I would expect maybe a character creation, but with that Bandai Namco and with Neo, it could be possible that we have a male and female character. Now, here's the question. Obviously, we're probably going to pick between whether or not we want to play as the male or female character. They're very stylized, they're very set in their way, so it could be a situation like Neo where we don't have a character creation, but we have a character to pick from, male or female. Here's the question, though. The gameplay trailer clearly shows that other character is fighting alongside you. So the question is it going to be a situation like Nier Automata, which again, people are mad at me because I didn't like it. I'm sorry, I can't help it. I'll give it another chance one day. Is it going to be a situation like Nier Automata where an AI follows us around and helps us in combat? Or is it going to be a situation where we have co-op? I don't know which one of these is true at first, but when it comes down to it, if it does have co-op, how would the co-op work? Would it be like Souls? Are you going to summon a player in? Could you be fighting alongside a female character, another male character like yours? Is there going to be the opportunities for color palette swapping or customization of that sort if we can't customize the character exactly? What kind of things are there going to be? And if there is, of course, co-op, do we have more stuff from the Souls-like games where we have other blood hunters or bloodlust people or whatever the fuck they are? Fucking born by the blood, made by the blood. Sorry, I'm Bloodborne. Are we going to have situations where other, I'm just going to call them hunters, come into our world to try to kill us? Is there going to be a PvP scenario? Is there going to be multiplayer like the Souls series? What would that entail with this game? Are we going to have these systems and mechanics that we've seen in the Souls series and Bloodborne? Don't know. Another thing is, of course, we saw that there are bosses. There are going to be like lots of enemies. There's going to be a heavy emphasis on dodging. I like that. Like Neo doesn't have any shields, but you can block. And I didn't like Bloodborne, but again, as I've progressed, I've let it grow onto me. I don't hate Bloodborne anymore. I think it's a decent fucking game. I just don't like it as much as Souls. But if Code Vein relies more on things like we saw in Bloodborne, with lots like heavy emphasis on dodging, being able to maneuver around your enemies and attack them effectively, that would be really cool. I can't imagine that he wouldn't use that big fuck off claw to block, but I don't know. But when it comes down to it, the gameplay trailer they showed us, which is just a taste, looks really good. I'm already quite interested in Code Vein. The thing about Code Vein that intrigues me is, of course, the world itself. I like to speculate about games just like anybody else, and when it comes down to the Souls series has always been, of course, again, high fantasy, set in worlds that we don't know. Code Vein looks like it could be set very well on Earth. May not be Earth, may be an alternate reality, maybe another planet, who knows. But when it comes down to it, it's good for me to see these remnants of human existence. I like the idea of fighting monsters or demons or vampires or whatever the fuck they are. I like the idea of fighting these beasts in what used to be cityscapes and homes and skyscrapers and shit like that. I like the environmental concepts. I like the ideas. It reminds me, of course, of Darksiders. I like this. Seeing what has become of the world after we are gone is a horrifying but fascinating concept that I think should be explored more in video games. I mean, we don't ever really think about that. We are all over the planet. We're fucking, like, what, 7 billion strong? But the idea of us being wiped out and just our mass graves that are cities being left behind and being explored and fought through by whatever the fuck these immortal creatures are is fascinating to me. And I just hope that there's a wide breadth of environments, and I hope that there's new environments. For instance, if this is some new world, new regime, new powerful immortal characters, I would imagine that, you know, they would build on top of our civilization. So I can imagine giant skyscrapers, and then there being like maybe chains or towers or bridges leading to a giant castle in the sky, and we could get some Castlevania shit going. That would be cool to me. I would enjoy seeing that. But I also wonder, like, what kind of technology and powers these immortals have. Like magic, high technology, high fantasy, I don't know. And so I imagine like floating castles in the sky that we could go some Castlevania shit in. I'm excited about Code Vein. Code Vein looks cool. And again, I wanted to wait to see a gameplay trailer, and they showed us just a taste, and that's enough to get me interested. If the gameplay is just as solid as the Soul series, just as solid as Neo, then we have another amazing game on our hands here. It's just, I don't know what they're going to do. I know what the gameplay style is going to be like, but I don't know what their plans are for the world, for the story, for the characters. I think the monster designs look cool, and the idea of it being an Animu sequel to Bloodborne is something that makes me giggle. But either way, Code Vein looks very interesting to me, and I'm wondering if it looks interesting to you. Are you a Souls fan? Have you played Bloodborne? Have you played Neo? If you haven't played Neo, go watch my discussion on Neo, and I'll tell you everything you need to know to get you enticed about that game. But what did you think of the trailer? Are you excited? Do you not care? Are you looking to get into the Soul series? If so, I and many others could get you into this franchise. I recommend going and watching Vati's videos because he's fucking awesome too. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Drop me a thumb up or a thumbs down, and I will see you in the next video, which I've been uploading quite a bit lately, so that's good for you guys. Hope you've been enjoying it. I don't know if I'll be able to keep this up, but I'll work on it. Do take care. Love you.